What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to NECC Rocket League week number 3. My name is Bass in the Past, and now I am joined by the one, the only Hypheria. How are you doing? Well, I think it's this night for you, my friend.
Yes, indeed. No, it's still evening. It's 11 in the evening, but it doesn't really matter. I'm still doing absolutely amazing, and I'm incredibly excited for what's coming up next. Obviously, the previous one was a little bit of a blowout, somewhat a 3-0, but this one, Bass, this could be a good one.
Oh yeah, this one indeed is stacked up to be two of the most competitive teams we have got. We have moved over to Division 1 Champions Division in the East side. We have Montclair State University versus Fanshawe College, and well, this is going to be two teams that have an interesting story behind them. Week 1, both of them took a win. Week number 2, both of them took some losses, though. Week 1 for Montclair was a 3-2 victory, so it was a nail-biter for sure. And then the second week, though, they got blown out 0-3 against St. Clair. Come back then, and then meanwhile on the other side, Fanshawe, week 1, 3-0 against Springfield. A great game against Springfield where they go without a single loss. Next week, they only get one win against Durham College and lose 1-3. So both of these teams had a bit of a shaky week 2. Now they're coming back into week 3, trying to gain their momentum back. And there's definitely a good shot. Both of these teams have great teams behind them. It's going to be about how it starts off in this first game, though, as well beyond anything else. So really, this should be a very interesting match here, Hypheria. What are you expecting going into the Tier 1 to Champions Division in the East?
Well, this is my third week casting, so in those 3 weeks, I have not seen a Division 1 match in NECC yet. So obviously, I've seen high-level play before, but I'm just expecting everything to just a massive notch up in amount of speed and just in general, the game going a lot quicker and a lot more consistency behind everything as well as... Well, I just looked at the names for a second and I realized that one of them was called Tony, but then spelled as your toe, as feet toe, and knee as in, well, your knee, which threw me off for a massive loop. But we are getting ready to get this one underway, and it should be an absolutely phenomenal one. As Bass already said, it's quite important this week that they actually start getting a win, because then you're 2-1 instead of 1-1 or 1-2. Even if you do end up losing, it's a pivotal time for them to pull through and to show up.
Oh, absolutely. Week number 3 is where we really start getting into the meat of the season. We're past that intro phase where teams are starting to figure out how the teams are going to work, figure out who's on top and bottom. We're really starting to see which teams are the ones that are going to start pulling away, which are the teams that are going to need to have a good bounce back in the second half of the season, and which teams may just hit that middle plateau. Right now, both of these teams are kind of somewhat in that middle plateau. At 1-1, they still haven't quite gone down to the lower half of lower half of their division. They haven't gone up to the upper half. They're still sitting in the center. So this week 3 is very pivotal to start that upswing to get into the top of their division, or it could be pivotal in the wrong way where they take a loss and unfortunately start falling down the ladder. But it's going to have to depend on what type of game they have here today. Luckily, the other good thing is that there are plenty of weeks left, so even if they do take a loss here, they have a chance to rebound, but still, nonetheless, momentum would be absolutely keen in this game. They need to take this win, or at least, have a good showing so that they can have the rest of their season with that momentum on their side.
Yeah, they have to get the momentum, and especially if it's in week 3, yes, there's more than enough, but you always want to be on that upswing instead of a downswing. You never want to get down to yourself thinking, oh, we're slumping or whatever. You just want to be at the peak of your game at every single week. Obviously, them being one-on-one, that's not necessarily what happened previously, but both coming off of a loss in the previous one, they are looking to revert their momentum, and one team will for sure revert that momentum and be going up again. And we're going to have to see today which one it is. It's I don't know. I want to put a prediction, but at the same time, I am clueless.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where it's so incredibly close back and forth. You don't really want to put in a prediction, just that fear that it could go completely the wrong way for you. So I think beyond that, what we're going to have to do here is just, sort of enjoy the chaos. We will see the mystery unfold here, as I think we just about have everybody ready on the field, making sure that we've got everybody in, and then we will give these two teams the go-ahead signal. So again, if you guys, I don't really think that I necessarily have a concrete prediction of who's going to be taking this one. It's really going to kind of come down to how they start off here. I think this first game, though, is going to be very telling about the type of teams that we see. If they come off here a little bit slower, it might be something that the other team takes advantage of because, again, when we are at this top level, when we're in a Division I and Champions Division in the East, it really is going to be one of these things where it's absolutely the most high-flying action we have here at the NECC. We can guarantee that these teams are going to put on a banger of a showing at the least. So, again, we're just going to get all of these teams on in here, make sure that they are all ready to go, and then we will give them the go-ahead signal. So far, though, this has been a fun one, and I really hope that, all the action we have here today at the NECC is going to be able to provide you guys with constant good games, and if you want, you can stick around. We'll be here until very late night. Matter of fact, 11 Eastern will be the last time we start. However, that's not going to matter. You don't have to wait till 11 Eastern because we have got the action started right now. Game number 1 underway. Kickoff. Let's see what these two teams have got. It's going to be Montclair in the blue and Fanshawe in the orange. Let's see which one starts off stronger.
Yeah, it seems that Vanry is able to take possession here, instantly challenged. Is going to disallow him to continue that possession, and they're already looking as if they are stuck in defense. They need to break out already, and that's not a great start. They are managing, and they haven't conceded yet, but you don't want to be stuck on that defensive half. And Kenrick, he's going to try and get that one in towards the opposing net. Good shot from Boxes, might just land in toward the back of the net. Legacy with the save, and once they break out, they put a threatening shot on target. This is promising to be an incredible series.
Already, we can see the type of shots that we're going to have and, well, the type of saves that will be needed to stop them. No save going to come here, though, and already one goal will be scored here. Fanshawe off to a strong start as Boxes takes advantage of a little bit of lackadaisical defense.
Life, he was very much struggling with the post there, didn't really know how to recover, thus was in a terrible position to try and get that cleared out. But now Kenrick, can he get another one? After being on the defense for the initial 30 seconds, they managed to break out in a proper fashion. Boxes, that is a very ambitious touch, so your teammates now have to hurry back. That's a decent bomb, and Vanry is low on boost, so he gets a clear out, but it's not necessarily going to be a proper clear. As Boxes, he makes that read of the sidewall exactly like he needed to. Legacy with not the greatest touch, and then that with a lack of touch in general. I didn't even really know how to call that one. I was expecting a touch to come out, but we already see some inconsistencies on the side of Montclair that they need to fix.
Yeah, so far, they're not necessarily playing poorly, but they're not going to be able to break through Fanshawe like this. They need to play their absolute best. A save like that will be advantageous and give them, a little bit of a chance to do so, but they're still not done with the offense yet. Boxes will have another shot that goes through. Lifey has to make a quick save, and actually, Lifey might even turn this into a counterattack. A good 50-50 gives room, but Daft's can't quite get to that one. And again, it's another offense squandered. Matter of fact, it's an offense squandered and a defense left in absolute ruins. No one prepared for this shot, and Boxes will pick up their second.
There's some shots from Fanshawe that should not be going in. They aren't necessarily incredibly powerful. They're a little bit awkward, yes, but it should still be better in defense from Montclair than it currently is. They definitely need to pick up the pace in that regard. Some opportunities arising that shouldn't even be opportunities in boxes. Well, this is kind of how you need to defend. Get that clear out into an awkward position. Actually, it's going to be awkward enough. Kenrick gets a booming clear out. Can they go on the counter quick enough? Kenrick at the forefront of that. Daff is going to get back in time. No, he's not. And Kenrick on the counter attack makes it 3-0.
Oh my word, this is starting to fall apart for Montclair here. Dafsy almost had a shot at this one, but again, they're just scrambling to get back into defense. They just don't really seem to have that, full-on offense, or that full-on, or not offense, that full-on rotation that allows them to play both offense and defense here. They'll pick up a kickoff goal, which may give them a little bit of momentum, but again, this isn't really correcting the issues we saw before. If they go all out on offense, they're leaving holes in the defense. If they go all out defense, they endure shots for too long and can't turn into an offense. So we need to see a more full play out of Montclair here. They picked up a goal, which is going to bring the deficit down to 2, but they can't just rely on kickoffs to take down Fanshawe.
Yeah, for sure they can't. They need to find that healthy balance between attacking and defending and being in the proper position. That's a rotation in Rocket League that nobody necessarily has down perfectly. Well, they do need to step it up here, and Dafsy managed to somewhat break through, get a lot of decent 50-50s in a row. It's just not enough, though, because Fanshawe, they just have a phenomenal rotation in place to deal with pretty much every threat that comes at them, unless if it's an awkward 50 going on target. Oh my word, boxes awkwardly save that one, and Lifey off to the side. Kenrick, this is what I mean, in a perfect position to just pick that one up, get it to the backboard. Didn't get that one in. Boxes is back for the save though.
Yeah, you can just see, though, that's the difference between the two teams right now. Fanshawe, they get back to their own half, and they're already prepared for what is about to happen. Meanwhile, on the other end, Montclair don't really seem to be that aware that, they're putting all of their chips on the table there. They're putting everything into offense, and then it's a scramble into defense. Legacy this time will be prepared on defense, will at least possess, but as it's not that hard of a clear. Oh, I thought that Kenrick would get in the way, but instead, Lifey looks like they'll have the next touch. Maybe we're starting to see some signs of life out of Montclair. Yet, can they slot one in? Not quite yet. 2 players will be there on defense, and it's popped into the Montclair half yet again. And we are starting to see a much more efficient offense out of Montclair, but they still have yet to break the back of the net here without it being off of the kickoff.
Oh my word, Dafsy with a phenomenal save and a pivotal one at that as well. Otherwise, that would have been a 4-1 scoreline, and the comeback would have been incredibly hard at that point. But now, Lifey, you said we were seeing some more life in this series. I think we needed to see a little bit more out of Lifey as well. A little bit more gusto behind everything, a little bit more pace. And if you can really get going, everybody's such a threat. You always have those kind of players who, if they start going, they just kind of drag the team along with them, and this is what I mean, getting a pass. Nobody there for the pass, though, and Dafsy, he comes in for the shot. It's incredibly late. Legacy backflipping out of that one. This could have been a great connection in towards the game, but they do not manage to convert.
Again, it's just the same sort of thing over and over here from Montclair. They get so close, but no final shot, no final conversion. The pressure is there, and it's something we even saw in the last game, but last game was a lower tier. We shouldn't be seeing, oh, there it is. I was going to say the same issues at this one, and indeed, it's not going to last that long. Finally, we see some punishment as Legacy jumps very high up and spikes this one on down 2-3. 24 seconds left, I figure. There's a chance here that Montclair might just take us to overtime.
That is very possible. This kickoff is going to be pivotal, though. I think they went for a double boost grab, and then you can't have a bad side Lifey jumping in front of his teammate. That's not going to help their case. Boxes on the sidewall, and this is exactly why Lifey doesn't have any boost to extend that one, whereas his teammate might have. Dafsy straight into Kenrick, but Kenrick, he missed a touch. Legacy looking to do it. It's going to be off the crossbar. Lifey with another touch, also off the crossbar. Can they have another opportunity? Dafsy hits that wide. Legacy is struggling to reach it. Did get a touch, but it's Fanshawe getting the win in this one. But what a game that ended up being.
Oh my word, that was so incredibly close. You guys can see as we come back on my video, my hands were just on my face waiting to see if something would pop through there, but instead it does not, and Fanshawe will hold on for now. Montclair is still plagued by the same issues we saw during the game, even at the very end of that game as well. They just can't find the back of the net, despite taking, I believe, the majority of shots here. No, one underneath their opponents. Fanshawe at 8, Montclair at 7. Still 7 shots, and they could not not convert on even half of them. This was definitely not the game that we were hoping for out of Montclair here. They started to look good at the end, but they just gave too much time, and Fanshawe ran away with this. However, it's not only telling, but it's going to be interesting. Game 2, Fanshawe now don't have the time to slow down. They have a team which has countered pretty well here and is getting momentum on their side. So if Fanshawe gave even a little bit of room to breathe, I think Montclair might be able to take this in the second game.
Well, Bash, you already know what I'm going to say at this point. I pretty much say this every single time a team ends the game well. That is always pivotal to go in towards the next match. And Montclair, they did exactly that. So they have the momentum. They have the opportunity to just completely get back into this matchup right away and kind of demoralize Fanshawe, make them wonder where this Montclair came from. Well, it's from ending the game well, and they need to prove it now as well to also make me a little bit happy, not because I'm necessarily rooting for them, but because then I want my theory to be correct, and Box is he looking to prove me wrong and would very much approve of doing so as well. Oh my word, almost gets a double tap. It is slightly wide though, and Vanry took a shot saved by Lifey.
Well, indeed, I have to agree with your statement, but so far it hasn't necessarily looked that way. Montclair will be on offense now, but it looks like Fanshawe are very prepared for the now aggressive Montclair we're going to see. MSU have come out guns a-blazing as Legacy goes high. Oh, but Vanry out to Kendrick. That would have been the most ridiculous link-up if they had pulled that one off, but instead, it's a counterattack. That does not come through. I thought that was put in, but instead Legacy gets there, or excuse me, Legacy does not get there. I believe it was Vanry who got there. This game has my brain rattling as it is chaotic and speedy for sure here in game number 2.
Yeah, we see a completely different Montclair as this one's get popped down. Lifey is up for it. Legacy did go for a double commit, or obviously not intentional, but he went for the ball as well. Now missing this one. This could be a great opportunity to start that counter-attack. Box is at the forefront of it, trying to get that one center. Did end up getting it center, but I don't think his team necessarily thought that was going to happen as Dafsy gets it towards the corner. That's going to be an awkward pass for Boxes to read. He does do so, but isn't going to be enough. Dafsy keeps the pressure in towards the opposing half. Montclair, they have got the driving seed acquire. They're definitely showing what they've got in this series, but just aren't managed to break through. And oh my word, Lifey, I thought that was going to be an own goal, but instead it's a phenomenal play. 1v1 situation, Dafsy versus Boxes. Dafsy tries to go for the musty flick, does not manage, but the pressure, it is just never ending. And then a long shot just goes in. I have no time to stop, and Kendrick, he makes me stop by putting this goal in towards the back of the net.
Oh no, this is not what we meant. We were waiting for MSU to start to get this efficient offense, to start to have this electricity, that final touch, but in doing so, they have abandoned their defense entirely. Open net, cross-court shot, and all of a sudden, it is 1-0 for Fanshawe. This game looked incredibly even to start this one off, but now that Fanshawe have some momentum in their favor, they might be able to run with this one. Box is going to try and take this off the wall. No one touches it, neither Legacy nor Boxes, and it actually leaves room for Kendrick to almost slot one in, but you can just tell, here comes the life out of Fanshawe. It may have not sucked the life out of their opponents here, but MSU have got to be prepared as Fanshawe have the momentum. Oh my word, but not if they give up a goal like that. Chaos erupts on the back end. MSU are not able to convert, but for a second there, my heart just stopped.
Oh my word, and I think theirs did as well. Legacy was just basically sitting there hoping, praying that that one found a way to the back of the net. Lifey trying to get a pass into Legacy. Legacy looking to get that one on target, but it will instead be Lifey with a shot. Box with a phenomenal save, but isn't going to be good enough for the rest of that time. Dafsy pops in there, says hello, and doesn't say hello to a goal. Gets met by another player of the opposing side. Boxes once again all alone back. It's a decent 50 out of Lifey, but it's still hanging in front of their goal. Boxes, he's got most amount of points, and purely because of saves. Now this one is the bar that's saving this one. Oh my word, Dafsy with a demo bumps into Lifey. Lifey with a shot saved by Vanry, and this defensive performance is absolutely stunning. Getting on the counter, Vanry pumped it in off of the counter. What a play from Fanshawe.
I'm blown away there. That was maybe the most impressive series of events I've seen a team complete here in the NECC. Fanshawe took on a plethora of shots there, managed 5 saves, and then walked away with a counterattack goal. Fanshawe are holding strong here. Montclair have definitely turned up the heat here in game number 2, but no matter how hot it may get, Fanshawe are prepared. 2-0 here, and only a minute 30 left, and they will be up 2-0 in this series. This is a performance and a half so far out of Fanshawe.
I dare even say a performance in 3/4, Bass. I'm going to up that standard because their defense is not only on point, but their transition on top of that is so amazing that they're managing to hold on and perfectly pinpoint that moment where MSU slightly overcommits, and then they're all up in that. They instantly go on that counter. Boxes, he needs to get a save on this one. Dapsy, all right, 1 minute remaining. We've seen some ridiculous goals. I see Bass taking his headset off, and I very much agree because this one is also debatable whether it should go in.
I mean, it's just, we're talking about, what a defensive effort. They're doing so great, and then that is the shot that makes it through. By far, not what I expected, to put it simply. That's definitely not the one, but hey, you know what? For MSU, they'll take what they can get. Any momentum on their side is going to be advantageous, and now they've got to run with this one. They definitely cannot give up. Oh, my word, another goal. Vanry came flying through there and almost was able to get one in, but not quite able to. Now they just need to survive on the back half, though. Fanshawe have to endure another set of shots because here comes the offense one more time. If MSU can convert this time, maybe they can bring us to overtime. If they do not, it will be 2-0, and Fanshawe should have been up 3-1, but as Vanry can't make the touch, they're going to get that opportunity squandered. The offense will continue, but if this ends up tying up, look, it looks like it just might. Dapsy needs to finish it. Oh, my word, Lifey will get it in. Dapsy will not make the follow-up touch, but I fear you, this should be 3-1 Fanshawe.
I prefer this outcome though, because that means we'll probably head into an overtime and we at least see more out of this game. Just what a phenomenal game both these teams are putting on. We've spent about 90% in towards the opposing half, into the side of Fanshawe, but once they break out in a fascinating fashion. Kenrick into the corner. Can they actually bring this to overtime? Because it is Fanshawe on the offense. Fanry pops in mid, and that is going to put us into overtime. 2-all scoreline. And this kickoff could just decide it right here, right now. It goes to Kenrick. Pops it up past 1v1 situation. Dapsy needs to make the save. Does do so. It was not a great shot out of Kenrick, but it already sets the tone of this overtime, and it is just completely flip of the scripts as Montclair are on defense the entire time.
All of a sudden, here comes that offense from Fanshawe. We mentioned that if you give them a momentum, they might just run with that one, and it seems like they're doing so. Boxes cannot capture this one, though, out at the corner, and Kendrick has to bail them out. Lifey does make a touch. That's not going to be enough. Boxes there to get a 50-50. Might even be able to run with this one. That's not the touch they were looking for, and all of a sudden, the pace is broken down here in the corner. Not really advantageous to either team. Maybe advantageous to Kendrick, but Lifey will make a phenomenal last-minute save, and this is the type of action we were talking about, ladies and gentlemen. East Champions Division, and this is a battle for game number 2.
That's such an important one as well. Box says that's not really the greatest clear, but the winner of this one doesn't necessarily move into match point unless the winner is Fanshawe, which is so pivotal. Otherwise, Montclair's in that position where they need to reverse sweep. But Dapsy finds an open net, puts it off the post, and then Legacy. Okay, he does come in, and it doesn't make me lose my absolute mind, and it is 1-0 in this series. And boy, do I love we've got more of this.
Oh my god, my heart's about to burst here. So many different things just happened there. I have no idea how to react to it in total. Montclair will walk away the victors here in game number 2, but I think the real victors right now are the fans, as we are just about to lose our minds collectively here. I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm looking at my camera. I can tell that you guys can see how frazzled we are behind the scenes as my hair has gone psychotic. But this has been, I mean, this is one of these games where you never really know who's going to be on top there. We thought for certain that Fanshawe was going to, be able to mount that comeback. Then all of a sudden, Montclair were able to pull it away in the end after what was, I'm not going to say a defensive miss error, but the fact that the first shot that was an open net didn't go in, and then no one was home to try and defend the second one is definitely something that Fanshawe need to be aware of. They can never count themselves out of these games. It is very clear here after that last game that no one can count themselves out. So game number 2, absolute banger. Game number 3, I hope my heart can take it.
I'll be honest. I was prepared if Fanshawe actually won that one to call a reverse sweep happening. Montclair, they are looking amazing, just struggling in the department of finishing the goals, which is, at that point, you're in a decent position. You just need to be able to finish those little bits, and they've really come into it. I would not be surprised if Montclair managed to bring it home, because that defense from Fanshawe, yes, it's incredible. It's so incredibly hard to keep that up the entire time, to make sure that you actually recover nicely in defense and get back into the rotation. It's incredibly hard to mentally and physically to keep that up, to keep that performance, where we're going to have to see game number 3 is underway.
Let's see what they've got. This is an important game for both teams here. Montclair would like to continue their momentum going into game number 4. Meanwhile, Fanshawe are going to try to shut down any of that momentum and bring themselves into a game point. Like you've been saying, it's a pivotal game for sure, and well, we'll see what they've got, as it looks to be Montclair on offense already. MSU might almost be able to slot this one in, but no follow-up touch will come, and the clear out to the side out of, I believe, Kenrick will buy some time here now for Fanshawe to set up on defense again. Oh, and Vanry with a pre-jump will cut off the angle early. Again, the defense has been phenomenal in this series. Yes, we've seen some electric goals, but man, have the backsides been some brick walls so far.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous, and it's Montclair all over Fanshawe. But Fanshawe, they don't really mind, because they are a brick wall right now. You can paint a brick wall, you'd technically be all over them, but it doesn't really matter. The brick wall is still intact, and Legacy pops that off the backboard, and oh my word, Boxes makes the save off of the double tap. I didn't see that one coming. I wasn't really prepared to call that one 1-0, but they might just be able to go down the other end with this bump happening. Now if he gets the initial save, Bucks as a defensive anchor, staying back. Legacy has the ball, doesn't really have a shooting angle though, and this matchup just keeps on getting crazier and crazier.
Oh my word, I don't think we're gonna... Oh my god, Boxes just knows what's gonna happen on offense. You can take whatever shot you want. Go ahead, flip reset to Musty Flick him. He'll be there already, prepared for whatever shot you may take. This is a defensive effort and a half out of Fanshawe, and it's an offensive one as well. Boxes almost able to slot that one into his teammate, but the follow-up touch was not enough. 2 minutes in here to game number 3, and we can tell this one's gonna stay about as hectic, about as high-flying as game number 2. The question is, though, is who walks away the victor at 0-0, not a single goal score yet, and really, it's going to have to be either one of two things. We say this almost every single series. Either the defense will hold strong, and it's going to be a banger of a goal that no one expects to make it through, or the defense will make one crucial error, and that will separate the two teams. Right now, it's looking to be the offense will have to break through, because neither team is even giving opportunities on offense, as the defense shut down most things before they even arise. Speaking of which, Dafsy with yet another save.
This is one of them series that, yes, it's zero goals on the board right now, but still one of the most exciting ones that it can be. It's end to end. It is opportunities on both sides. It is Fanshawe. You can never count them out when they're looking bad on defense. No, that's only a setup for that counter-attack. Lifey back into Dafsy. Doesn't get a touch. Kenrick looking to make that counter-attack happen. Goes on off the sidewall. Lifey is up for it, but Kenrick, can he get a bump or that ball towards the center? Vanry gets demoed, and now it might be a counter-attack coming in from the other end. Lifey doesn't necessarily have a shooting angle, but he does have a passing lane opened up for him. It is blocked instantly, though. It is sealed up in that brick wall. They're putting some bricks everywhere on the field. I mean, that is incredibly scary to go up against. Oh my word, everything is so scary.
So far, this one has been about as tense as physically possible. Lifey, tries to crack it open with a double touch. But again, it really is going to be one of these things where I don't think we're going to expect this first goal. I think it's really going to come out of nowhere, and even in the midst of chaos, it'll come from something incredible. Indeed, it will. Just as this one looks to be a simple floater in the corner, it's a quick 50 from Kenrick, and the pre-jump out of Vanry, too. Oh, my word. 1-0, Fanshawe in the lead.
What a play from Vanry. So agile in the air there, acrobatically getting to that one, and now looking to do it to get a 2-goal lead. Legacy makes the save. There's still 1 minute 20 left, and this is not the way you're going to be making that comeback, Lifey. You need to actually hit this ball. Is this going on target? No, that's slightly wide, but still, it's not a great look for Montclair right now. They need to break out, and this is potentially a way to do it. Vanry does get a touch. It should be Legacy next up, who doesn't necessarily get the touch he was looking for, and Dafsy getting bumped. Also, bumps happening in the goal. Lifey misses the initial crucial touch. Can he get the second? He can't get the second. It will be Legacy equalizing it all up. And Fanshawe, they lacked on defense here.
They didn't even, I mean, yes, they definitely lacked on defense, but at the same time, when you have a Legacy coming through like a bulldozer, bullying everyone on the back end, all you can do is sit there and hope you've recovered in time, and well, they could not. Back to Legacy it comes from Lifey's touch, and 1-1, we're tied up again. If we go to Game 3 overtime, I'm just going to basically call it now. We'll end up going to overtime every game from here on out. I mean, I'd at least hope so. This is about as tense as it can get here. Both these teams putting on an absolutely phenomenal showing, and that's the other fun thing that you get to see in a game like this. It isn't even that either team is, you know, one team is making a small mistake and they capitalize. No, it's just both teams are playing absolutely phenomenal Rocket League, and it's just whichever team may happen to have the better game at that moment, really. This has been about as close as you can get here, Hyperia.
Oh, as Lifey goes to the center, making it, oh my word, Boxes, you have to point him out. He is so amazing. Yes, he's sitting at the bottom, but he's blocking every single shot. Once again, it's Boxes who gets that clear out. Boxes on the defense. Never mind the brick wall. It's a box filled with cement who's currently holding on every single time for Fanshawe. Absolutely phenomenal stuff as we go to yet another overtime. This is absolutely ridiculous. And this kickoff going the way of Boxes, looking to make an opportunity in the other end as well. Potentially getting that double tap. Lifey gets in the way, but that's still dropping in front of the goal. Miss coming out from Legacy. Dafsy was still there though, and they're looking to set up this counter attack.
Oh my word. I gotta point out though, I mean, again, you mentioned it, Boxes has been ridiculous on defense, but you see the 50 he had in front of the net while in the air? You just can't get him past him right now. It literally, every 50 he goes up for, he is winning. Oh, well, there's one he doesn't win, but it works out anyways as Vanry is behind him. Boxes' aggressiveness right now is absolutely leading the charge here for Fanshawe. Not to take away from Kenrick or Vanry, but truly it's this over and over again. The Boxes challenges that are giving them the space for them to set up plays here. Speaking of which, Kenrick going to try to set one up from midfield. Not the touch they were looking for, and it's Boxes all alone by themselves on the back end, but you know they will make the save. Boxes pulls up another save, and now here comes the counterattack. Kenrick tries to slot it out for Vanry. Boxes is all by themselves at the back end, and I think we're starting to see a pattern here. Let Vanry and Kenrick go up on offense while Boxes just waits on the back end. And honestly, I don't see an issue with it, not unless you make a mistake, though. That is going to be a punished mistake there, as Kenrick is left to make a touch on the backboard without it arriving. Vanry was a bit too jumpy, pulls out a net early, and 2-1. All of a sudden, MSU have a 2-1 lead in this series.
All I'm saying is Boxes wasn't there. Boxes was the defensive mastermind. And as soon as you don't have the mastermind, well, that mistake is going to cost them dearly, as now Montclair, they get up to that match point. They're looking amazing here. They have managed to hold on to that annoying show, because yes, I'm going to call it annoying, because you are constantly putting pressure on them, but they do not crack at any single point. They're managing to hold on. They're playing a phenomenal game defensively, and that's going to make you annoyed, especially when they are able to go on that counter and make it into the back of the net. And what a play, what a match this is in general. I'm absolutely loving every single bit of this.
Absolutely. And again, this is the big thing for Fanshawe, though, is that because of how high-flying and how high-octane this game has been, little mistakes like that are really what are going to separate the teams there. You make one crucial error, and it really will be as crucial as giving up the game there. Montclair have taken a 2-1 lead in the series, but Fanshawe, if you play like that, it could just be as simple as a different side of the coin gets flipped and you come out on top here. So Fanshawe need to keep themselves in this one. Literally, just ignore the last loss you just took. It was one silly mistake on the backboard that you could have, you might have been able to prevent, but after it happened, there was nothing you could have done. The one mistake got capitalized upon, and that cannot be your legacy going into this next one. You need to continue playing to the absolute of your best ability and play against this MSU squad like nothing happened, but we'll have to find out if they can do so. Game number 4 underway, and already it was Montclair on offense, but now they've got to scramble into their back half all of a sudden. Can we see Fanshawe punish early? A good goal here to start off would give them momentum. But Dafsy pops it around the last defender in Kenrick, and it's a scramble to try and reset up the defense here. Oh, but the scramble will pay off, and well, listen, I didn't expect anything less, but already Game 4 off to a banger of a start.
Oh, Kenrick needs to make the save. Makes the initial save, but it's not really out to the side. Oh my word, the second save from Kenrick is phenomenal though. Now Legacy looking to get that one out further. Oh, it might just be only one back. And the man, the myth, the legend, and yes, he comes soaring in from behind boxes. He is your man to be in the defense. He makes sure you're there every single time. Kenrick does get the initial save here as well, 15 it outwards. They do need to break out Fanshawe. I mean, I've said this very often, and it seems to be not necessarily applied to them that much because they managed to hold on. And this time, Kenrick, he didn't go for a shot at all. He just left this ball to bounce off the backboard. A questionable decision, to say the least.
Unfortunately, it's just a bit of a panic on the back end there. Two defenders were there, but as Kenrick goes up early, Boxes kind of sits there waiting to see what happens. No touch out of Kendrick. Boxes tries to readjust, and, well, they cannot. 1-0, Montclair are on top. And this is not the start they were looking for out of Fanshawe, but it is a long game ahead of us. Only a minute 15 gone so far, and they definitely have the ability to turn this one around here, and they need to do so. Again, MSU are on game point here. If they win this one, that's the end of the series, and they look to do exactly that. And as Vanry gets caught up on the post, Legacy will take advantage. Just a heads-up play overall.
And this is, right now, all a best battle of mental fortitude, how much you can keep going, how much you can set your mind to, all right, we weren't able to break through, but we'll just continue going. Or on the opposing side of Fanshawe, okay, we're 2 goals behind, we can still be on defense because their playstyle isn't necessarily one that bags a lot of goals. It's not as if they have a incredibly high octane kind of playstyle where they are continuously going end to end. No, once they go to the other end, they make pretty sure they score. And okay, Boxers is still back, but it doesn't matter. The pass in, and that's it. 3-0 lead Montclair. They're running away with this one.
Oh my word, they're not only running away with it, but they're executing perfectly while doing so. Legacy comes cross-court, dives through the center, and just perfectly shoots that one on in, and all of a sudden, this has become a gigantic hill to climb now. Fanshawe went from a 1-0 deficit early to a 3-0 deficit with only 2 minutes gone here. They've got to try and settle down right now. If they continue to make mistakes like this, they are absolutely going to run out of opportunities to make a comeback, but not early or not late enough into the series that we can call that quite yet. Oh, well. Ooh, I was going to say maybe now. Not if they can make saves like that. Fanshawe makes me eat my words before I can even spit them out there. I thought we were all but done as it was going to be 4-0, but somehow Fanshawe will hold strong and maybe even try to launch a counterattack here. Boxes on the ball, pops it to the center, and can, oh my word, get this one on in. What? I said pop to the center because I thought that, this would be, he popped it to the corner, out to the center for a teammate. No, to himself, right to the corner. Who else but Boxes? What on earth?
How dare you disrespect the man Boxers, who has been so key to the entire play of Fanshawe. That is not to discredit Vanry or Kenrick. They have been a pivotal point of their play as well. But they need to hold on, they need to build on this and not concede. And Dafsy, well, you have to give it to Montclair. That's a phenomenal passing play as well.
I mean, it's a phenomenal passing play. It's just inopportune time for Fanshawe, just as they get some momentum on their side, and all of a sudden it is shut down, completely switched off like a light there. As 4-1, it becomes the 3-goal lead reestablished here now for MSU. Fanshawe need to try and slow down this offense. They are literally just letting this lead get too big. They're not playing poorly. They're really matching up to MSU, but a 3-goal deficit is not an easy hill to climb, as we've stated earlier. So if they continue to let this lead stay at what it's at, I just don't think they have the time to mount a comeback. 2 minutes left here. 3 goals in 2 minutes, very doable, but they really need to get something in very quickly here, Hyperia.
Yeah, they need to start going and not have this ball be missed in the sidewall or in the opposing corner the entire time. And Lifey able to take it across the entirety of the pitch. Boxers gets a clear ball. My word, Kenrick in towards the opposing side. Dafsy does so incredible. Boxers can't really get a lot of power. Legacy gets to clear out. I don't want to call it because it's technically not over, but they need to convert so incredibly quickly, and every single opportunity that they get and it isn't converted, it's just going to be waste of time, basically.
Yeah, it really is one of these things. We keep hammering it home because it's so true. At a certain point in 3v3, if the deficit is too large, it's just not possible to come back from. Not because of the fact that we don't think, you can score and you can put on that pressure, but it is so hard to find goals in 3v3. It's why so many of these games have been decided by a 1-goal difference. Every goal that is made is incredibly influential in the momentum, in the outcome of the series. So 3 goals down within such a short time frame really kind of just, wrote the script here for everybody off of Fanshawe. They have played well after that first minute of chaos, or I should really say first 2 minutes of chaos, but unfortunately playing well for the latter 3 minutes doesn't matter if you throw for the first 2. So Fanshawe are just running out of time here. 30 seconds left. If they can slot one in every 10 seconds, maybe. But honestly, I just don't see it coming as, oh my word, MSU almost slot in another one, but they continue to put on this pressure, continue to make it difficult for Fanshawe, and maybe they can slot one in here, but no, Dafsy coming up with yet another save. Dafsy has been that brick wall on the other end. If it's been the boxes or the box of cement on the end for Fanshawe, it has been Dafsy as the concrete wall on the other end. 4-1, this one will end here. Maybe Boxes can get one more through, but regardless, your winners here in game number 2 of the day, or match number 2, series, I guess, number 2 of the day, there's the word I'm looking for, will be Montclair State University.
This is exactly why, if Fanshawe had won that second game, I was going to call a reverse sweep. Montclair really got going. They started converting their opportunities, and Fanshawe, they weren't able to hold on in that same manner in defense anymore. They only had 2 shots on target, and were able to convert one of them. Even if they had converted 100%, it was just not enough. And Montclair, that continuous pressure was cracking Fanshawe at some point, and it was bound to happen. And they had a phenomenal performance. They just need to try and get that transition a little bit easier and a little bit more often.
Yeah, it was one of these things where they really would get some opportunities, but the issue is that Montclair, every time that they saw Fanshawe get those opportunities, they would shut them down very quickly, or at least make them difficult enough that they couldn't really take a shot from them. That final game, 9 2 to Fanshawe, it really goes to show you just, the difference between the offensive pressure that we had seen. Fanshawe definitely had the opportunities there, but unfortunately they just let Montclair get too far away from them to start off with, and it got more and more difficult as time went on. And, well, we'll have to see if these guys are going to be able to rebound here. Like we said, it's only the 3rd week. Congratulations to MSU, as they're now going to move in to a 2-1 record in the season, putting them at, some of the higher parts of their division. Fanshawe, though, only at 1-2, plenty of time for them to make a comeback from here on out. If they continue to put on performances like we saw here today, I have no doubt that they can take down some of the competition in their division.
Yeah, Montclair, they showed up phenomenally today, and yes, Fanshawe, amazing, but that playstyle is only really going to work against a team like Montclair, who continuously are on that offense and make those mistakes overcommitting. If you have a more sit-back team who also is incredibly clinical, then it just becomes a battle of who can hold on to that defense just that tiny little bit better. It was a phenomenal showing today out of both teams. Montclair obviously are able to take that 3-1 win. Absolutely amazing game.
Yeah, phenomenal game so far, or phenomenal games, I should say, so far. This has absolutely been a blast to watch all of these. And again, Hyperia, this is just the start of your day, I believe. I believe you've got a couple more here, so I'm beyond jealous of that. I will only be back at the very last cast of the night, so I hope that you guys have a great one. We're not quite done yet here, though, but before we go and move on, I think we're going to try to get one of the players here. Oh, wait, our producer is saying something to us in our ear. Okay, so we do have a player coming in here in just a moment, so it looks like we are going to be able to get an interview with one of the players off of the winning team, luckily enough, so that's going to be great. But before we do that, real quick, we want to give a quick shout-out to some of our partners here at the NECC. We want to give a shout-out to MetaPro Gaming. MetaPro Gaming is a full-service esports management, developmental, and consulting company. Meta provides esports coaching, college esports management, arena design, and equipment. Visit them at metaprogaming.gg to learn more. As well, we would also like to thank Respawn. Respawn products are forged for all-day comfort for content creators, professionals, and casual players, or really anyone looking to upgrade their setup. I, indeed, also, as I said, have been able to upgrade my setup because of Respawn. They were gracious enough to send me this chair, and I absolutely love it. It is comfortable, it is phenomenal to cast in, and I cannot be more excited about it. So, Respawn has been battle-tested and achieves a level of comfort that leaves competitors in the dust. Live to play another day with Respawn, your battle-ready partner. And Hyperia, again, this has been an absolutely phenomenal match that we just saw. Hopefully, we can get one of these players in here pretty soon so we can, talk to them and discuss their thoughts upon it. But coming out of that one, we always like to talk about, the highlight players. Obviously, it was Boxes on the other end, but here on the back end for MSU there, we said there was another brick wall. Dafsy, welcome to the call, my friend. Just about to mention your defensive efforts. You have got to be pretty happy after the game you guys just put on.
Yep, I'm very happy. I'm also nervous too. Yeah.
Well, no need to be. We promise we're not gonna berate you really at all here. We're more here to celebrate the win that you guys just pulled off. A very, very impressive one at that. I can see Hyperia, putting his hands up. Maybe it could go either way for him, but Hyperia, I'll let you start off here. Any questions for the absolute defensive monster we just saw from MSU?
Obviously, yes, a defensive monster, but offense was your main game plan all throughout this series. How did you guys kind of deal with not being able to break through for almost 2 games straight?
Well, it was like a rough start for us at the beginning, right? Especially me, I was like really nervous. I never played Rocket League in front of an audience before, so I was really nervous for the first game. But like as the series moved on, I started to get more and more comfortable. We start to pressure the opponent more often now, towards the end of the series. Yeah.
I mean, you did a great job at that. You guys really did put on the pressure. We were mentioning at the very last game, I'm not sure if you guys were paying attention to the stats alone, but you guys outshot your opponents at 9-2. So you really did put on that offensive pressure when it counted most. And all of that nervousness that you might have had that first game really did not show up on stream, especially the latter 3 where you guys absolutely decimated your opponents. Really, really impressive performance. My biggest question would really be, were you guys prepared for the amount of last second saves you were making? It really did seem a lot of the time that you guys were very prepared. You'd put all this pressure into the offense, then all of a sudden you would turn around and be able to make a save that came out of nowhere. So how much of that was really a part of the plan, and how much of that was just sort of, the adaptation to being able to run back on defense?
Yeah, our play style, right? We want to go full offense, right? And whenever there's whenever we have to go back to defense, we go back. We will one of us will block the shot and stuff, and typically sometimes when they shoot, I could just predict. We could just predict where they're gonna shoot as well. We also try to after the save, we also try to clear the ball as best our abilities to move back to offense. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
At least in chat, you're having a lot of fans. I don't know whether you're seeing what's currently going on, but a lot of people are saying that if you no longer have fans, that means they are gone off the face of the earth. And personally, your entire team has got me as a little bit of a fan as well, managing to pull through today, having the mental fortitude to play against such a hard team to play against. And with that, I'm also going to send you out. Celebrate with your team for tonight, Dafsy. Absolutely lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for that. And hopefully talk to you another time, brother.
Yeah, thank you too.
Real quick, before you go, any shout-outs you want to make to anybody?
Shout out to my team. Shout out to my friends, my family. Shout out to Montclair State University. And shout out to my YouTube channel.
Hey, there we go.
Dafsy Gaming.
Check out Dafsy on YouTube.
Dafsy Gaming. Yep. That's fine.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much, Dafsy. Like we said, Hyperia and I are going to go let you celebrate with your team. But thank you kindly for coming into the booth with us.
Thank you.
All right, well, Hyperia, that's going to be it for this matchup between MSU versus Fanshawe. An absolutely incredible spectacle of 2 phenomenal teams here at the NECC. But like we said, we're not quite done yet. You're still here for another match. I believe it's you and the lovely Stage Gaming coming up next. And after that, we've still got plenty of more action going all the way until 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard, full of nonstop action here at the NECC. So we're going to go to a quick break, hear a couple of words from some of our other partners here at the NECC. But when we return, we will have our very next matchup. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.